Here's my analysis of the Baylor at TCU women's basketball game. First of all, it was ugly, I know, and it was only a 10-point win, 67-57. And TCU actually had the lead after the first quarter, 20-17. But from there, the Baylor defense stiffened up. Baylor scored 22 points in the second quarter while allowing 11. So they had a 39-31 lead at half. Second half, in terms of the third quarter, both teams scored 11 points. But Baylor scored 17 points in the fourth quarter while TCU scored 15. TCU could not make a shot for their lives, except from three, it seemed like. And I'll explain it to you in a minute. They were 18 for 52 overall, 34.6%. 8 of those makes were threes out of 23 attempts, which is 34.8%. If you cut out them shooting the three so good, especially one player with 5 threes in the game, it would have not been so close. But you know what? After this team's been struggling with 4-game losing streak, including 2 losses and 1 in overtime and 1 in double overtime to ranked opponents at home, who cares the margin of victory? They needed to get that monkey off their back. They needed this win. TCU shot 13 for 21 on free throws, which is a bailout because, 61.9% is not that great. They had 30 rebounds, 9 of those offensive, 14 assists, 8 steals, which is a little too much to allow, but 1 block, 18 turnovers. TCU was turning the ball over ridiculously. 23 fouls, and TCU did have, that's 17 points off the bench, but they only had 2 double-digit scores that can only combine for 31 points. Bella Cravens and Tom Taiwo, which luckily I know one of them is for sure a 5th year and she's done no matter what. And Taiwo is done too. So, yeah. Both of those are seniors. They're going to be gone. 5th years. Thank goodness. Baylor had 15 points off the bench. They shot the ball better. 41.5% from the field, 22 for 53 overall, 7 for 17 on threes, 16 for 21 on free throws, 76.2%, 41 rebounds, 11 of those offensive, 16 assists, 8 steals. They have 4 blocks, 21 turnovers. The only reason why TCU was really hanging around is simple. Turnovers by Baylor and 3-point shooting. After that, not even close. And too many fouls. 20 fouls total, including Kaylin Bickle with fouling out again. But now over individual numbers. Jamie, there was like 5 double-digit scores in this game here that combined for 60 points. And the team was dealing with some sickness, and Sarah Andrews did not start. It's because of stomach issues, but most of the team, some of the players are dealing with that. So I hope for their sake they get better in terms of health. Jamie Asbury had 12 points on 5 for 8 shooting, 2 for 3 on threes, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover, 1 foul. Jane Owens only had 4 points on 1 for 6 shooting, 0 for 3 on threes, 2 for 4 on free throws, which I was like 3 for 4 or 4 for 4, but that's not besides the point. She had 9 rebounds though. 2 of those offensively, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 3 turnovers, 3 fouls. Dylan Paige Buggs had a double-double again. 10 points. I know she'd only made 4 shots out of 11 and 2 for 2 on the free throw line. But 14 rebounds, 2 of those offensive, 2 assists, 1 steal, 4 turnovers, 3 fouls. Bella Fonboy had a good game too. 14 points on 4 for 9 shooting, 2 for 4 on threes, 4 for 5 on free throws, 5 rebounds, 2 of those offensive. 5 turnovers, though, and 4 fouls. They were calling anything and everything on both teams last night. I'm going to just say that. And Kaylin Bickle had 12 points on 3 for 6 shooting, 6 for 8 at the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 3 offensive, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 4 turnovers, and 5 fouls. Sarah Andrews, who came off the bench for this game, had 12 points on 4 for 10 shooting, 2 for 6 on threes, 2 for 2 on free throws, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 2 fouls. Kyrie Ferrera was one of those. She only had 3 points and 1 for 3 overall, but 1 for 1 on threes and 1 rebound, 2 steals, 1 turnover, 1 foul. Kyle Abraham played just a little bit. She didn't score, but she had 1 rebound and 1 foul. Yeah. I don't care the margin of victory at that point. Just get a win. You get back in the win column. And I'm going to explain the standings right now. And I have some big news. West Virginia women lost to Texas Tech in double overtime by a point. And you'll know the standings once you hear it. Texas 12-3, Oklahoma 12-3, Oklahoma State 10-5. They actually beat Iowa State too. Oklahoma State did. Iowa State 9-6, Baylor 8-7, West Virginia 7-8, Kansas 6-9. They lost to Kansas State. That's the same Kansas State team that beat us. Remember, and they turned around and lost to TCU, but that's besides the point. Texas Tech 5-10, Kansas State 5-10, and TCU 1-14. So, yeah, the Big 12 will for sure have 5 NCAA tournament teams. Us, Iowa State, Oklahoma, and Texas. Actually, Kansas should be in the NCAA tournament as well, but I don't know. They might be closer to the bubble now. They might be, but I don't know. Or even if they're in, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on the next bracketology. But going forward for TCU is the following games, and I have a hunch that their coach is canned from her job, regardless whatever happens from here. I just have that hunch. They have to go on the road to Iowa State. Okay, you're going to get smoked. I call it the way it is. Sorry. You have to go on the road to Texas Tech. They're trying to play their way into the NCAA tournament. I know they were on the bubble, but then they were not. As in, they're not even considered. They're trying to play themselves in. And then you get Kansas at home. Now, Baylor, on the other hand, you have to be wary of Texas Tech at home. They're coming off of a win over West Virginia. Seriously. But you need to win that game. Badly. Then you have to go on the road to Texas. Yikes. But I know we defeated some ranked opponents on the road, so I wouldn't say this is an automatic loss. I'm giving it a 35% chance to win. And hopefully, and Texas has to play Oklahoma, which they could be hung over, either from an emotional win or emotional loss, and how brutal that game would be. And if it goes to double overtime or overtime and very tight game, exhausted players, that could help. And Texas too has to go on the road to Norman. So we have literally 1 hour and a half just go down the road that for a shoot around compared to Texas. Well, the following game after that is West Virginia at home. I would say you need to for sure win that game against Texas Tech. That should be the floor. 2-2. 1-2 from here on in. But I would also say there's a possibility of a 3-1. I wouldn't think 4-0 at this point, but you never know. I just think they just needed to get that monkey off their shoulder in the worst way. I'm going to double check where Texas plays this Saturday. And they have to play on the road to in Norman against Oklahoma. But that game's at 1. A few hours rest in terms of the game when the game ends and when they come back, but it's nothing. We don't have to even leave the state. That's beneficial. Anyways, if you like this content, hit like and subscribe button, and see you guys later. It's 500 subscribers. We're on the road to it. Let's go.